So if you're on our web page here, let's make sure that you're on the right web page. If you followed the link out of our email today, then you should be at the right page. If you look at the web address, should end in the word live.php. So if you're on our website, you should be on our live webcast, not on our front page, because this is actually also streaming live on our front page as well. And that means you need to click on the other link up there at the top of your menu bar. If your video doesn't start when you go to the next page, just hit your play button, and that'll get it going. You can also, of course, phone in tonight by telephone. So the phone numbers are right below the video. And then later on tonight, right after we do basically a quick run through our overview and the big interview with Nick tonight. We're going to then take your live questions, and we'll do that right below. You don't need to log in right now. We'll just keep that off as of right now, but we'll log in at that time. Just a quick, easy way to log in to ask your live questions tonight. And if you want to listen by telephone, we're probably going to end up maxing out our telephone line tonight. So if you want to get in line, you definitely want to call in right now to the telephone line. Or the best way, obviously, is to watch it online live and listen to it through your speakers. But we also have that option as well. And tonight, we're going to be interviewing one of our members, one of our HSA members, and also somebody that I've known for a while now, and we're going to be talking about that and his deal that he closed today, because it's out of the ordinary of what I normally talk about. You know, we have obviously, if you've been here before, you've gone through all of the site that you see right here, and you're not a paid member yet, you don't see some of the other courses that I provide in the back office. Now, one of the courses that I provide you back there is a course called the Inverse Purchase System. And this was a course that I created in a system of flipping properties using no money and no cash of your own back in the year 2000. And what brought that on and what brought that creation on was, before that we were flipping properties, no problem. Well, suddenly all the lenders came up with this new policy called title seasoning. And title seasoning means they want to see an owner on the title of the property for X amount of time. Usually it's about 3 months to 6 months. Some lenders want to see them on there for 2 years before they would loan on a new buyer coming to buy that home. Well, if you're buying and selling properties and you want to do it quickly and in the same closing, that title seasoning stopped you cold. So when that came about in the year 2000, I started bringing up everything I had learned up until that point, and being a mortgage broker for many years, understanding the legal laws and regulations and what is acceptable, what can't be done, and also what the lenders wanted and what the lenders didn't want. I put together a system. It was so unique, I filed it for a patent, and we've got a patent pending on it. Well, this system I've been teaching all these years, from 2000 up until now. We're still teaching it even today. And it's called the Inverse Purchase. And one of our members today who've been with us, in fact, he joined my company back a couple of years ago. In fact, let me bring him on. Nick, are you there?
I'm here, John.
Hey, Nick, welcome to the call tonight. I was just telling everybody about your history here, and I know you had joined in, and I know you were trying different investments, and you did other investments, and you were quite good at different techniques for years before you actually came in. But tell us what you were looking for. What made you jump on the inverse purchase rather than the other methods that you were already familiar with?
Well, you know, like you said, I was already a full-time investor when I first stumbled across the inverse purchase, and I don't know. You might remember I was Ron LeGrand's forum administrator for a couple of years at that point.
That's right, you were.
And I came to your site and I read it, and I was doing a lot of subject to deals. I was doing wholesaling as well, but I was doing a lot of subject to deals where I would put the house under contract, and for the people that aren't too familiar, a subject to deal is when somebody's willing to sell a house, they're willing to sign the papers, just give you the house. They sign it over to me. I take over the mortgage payments, and I rent the house out, and someday in the future, the house that I just rented to somebody sells, and I get to keep the difference. Well, I had just signed a contract a few days before I saw your inverse purchase program on for subject to deal. So I had just taken over the property. I had a very nice property, real pretty, great shape, just remodeled, vacant. And I got it for free. I didn't have to put any money down. The negative side was, along with that property, I inherited about a $1,600 a month mortgage payment because, I say they gave me the property for free. They gave me the keys, but I still had to make the mortgage payment.
So, they gave you the bills too, huh?
Yeah, it didn't. It wasn't just the house. The bills came along with it. So I stumbled on your website and I read about the inverse purchase, and I was like, well, wait a minute. This method will let me find a pretty house, put a contract on it, not be responsible for the mortgage payment, and then just advertise and find a buyer. And then when I find the buyer, I don't have to buy it. I don't have to do, because back then double closes were big, and they're different. The simultaneous closes back then were different than the A to B, B to C closes we do now. They were more complicated. You had to convince the. There was just more to them, and they were different.
A major headache, yeah.
So I really didn't like doing those, but I would do them. But like I said, the situation I was in, I had this pretty house. I was going to find a tenant. But when I saw your page, I realized, wait a minute, I don't have to do a double close. I don't have to buy the house and then sell it to and then in one close, then do another close later in the day, and have somebody buy it from me. I didn't have to, convince some buyer to let me use their money and do dry closings. And a lot of that, I'm probably speaking a foreign language to some of the investors on, but this is the way it's changed. But I just found that, wow, I could just sign one paper that gives me control of the house, and then sign another paper with somebody that wants to buy the house. And then basically the way it works is the guy that wants to buy it, he just buys it right from my seller, and I get the difference. So all I got to do is take the house. In this case, it was $100. I'm close on the numbers here. I was paying, I believe, $220 is how much I was going to pay the guy when I finally sold it. And I found somebody else that would take it for $265, right around there, something like that. And so I had this house under contract. I now had to find somebody to rent it from me. And you take a risk anytime you rent it. If they don't pay, I still have to make the mortgage payments. If they wreck it, I still have to fix it. And I saw John's program and I thought, well, wait a minute. I'm not going to rent this house out that I just got a couple days ago. I'm going to give this program a try, and I'm just going to find someone that wants to buy it. And I'm not going to screw around with renters and tenants and leases. So I bought John's program, and I don't remember, John, if I paid $2,000 or $3,000 for it.
You probably paid $3,000.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it's
$3,000. I don't remember, but I had this house under contract. I read about the program. I said, man, this sounds almost too good to be true. I did some research, found out that you were real, and I bought the program. And then I just advertised. I advertised it for sale instead of screwing around with finding a tenant and renting it and waiting 5 years to make my money. And in about 10 days, using the inverse purchase method, having the open house and bringing people out, I found someone that wanted to buy it for $265, and it was worth about $285. But he made me an offer at $265, something like that. But in any case, I closed the deal and walked away about 3 weeks later without ever owning it, because I had the deed because he was giving it to me, but I never recorded the deed. So I just I just told the seller, well, wait, we're going to do it a little bit differently. I had him sign a different piece of paper, had my